Number 1. Mocopi. Sony, one of the biggest technological companies, just released a fascinating new device called Mocopi. It's like a magic wand that lets you control a digital character in virtual reality with your real-life movements. How cool is that? The best part about Mocopi is that it's wireless and easy to use. You can connect it to your phone and other virtual reality games or apps, and it doesn't require any bulky machines to work. To use Mocopi, you attach 6 little sensors to your head, hips, wrists, and ankles. These sensors track your movements and send them to your virtual reality character so that it moves just like you do. You can use this thing to play games, work out, or even create videos. Now, Sony is taking matters to the next level with the help of releasing a software development kit that can link motion capture data with virtual reality and 3D software. This opens up an entirely new space of opportunities, from developing new fitness apps to creating immersive video games and movies. It's breathtaking how Mocopi can make you feel like you are inside a movie or a game, and I cannot wait to look at what people create with this tech. Number 2. Floating breakwaters. Imagine a future where many folks choose to live in coastal cities. Sounds like paradise, right? But what if huge waves kept crashing into your home, or a wild storm caused the water to rise significantly? Yikes! Thankfully, there's a company in Canada that came up with a super useful solution. That's what we're going to take a look at. They've made something called floating breakwaters, which basically protects homes and buildings on the coast. These things are like giant barriers that float on the water and prevent large waves from causing any issues. But these aren't just any old barriers. They're made of strong steel pipes and have concrete weights on the bottom to keep them in place. Plus, they're actually quite stunning, and they can last for a long time. Number 3. Harmony turbines. Now, have you heard of compact wind turbines? They are a new type of wind turbine that has a vertical axis design. They've recently gotten a lot of popularity. In fact, they have already attracted more than 400,000 in investments. So, what's so special about these turbines? Well, for instance, they operate even when the wind speed is as low as 1 mile per hour. That's really impressive. Also, they can keep running even when the wind is not consistent because the blades can adjust to different wind strengths. That's a big advantage compared to other wind turbines that can break down in such conditions. Number 4. Intel Recon Jet. Now, let's take a look at the Recon Jet, which looks like regular sunglasses, but it's loaded with tons of features for long-distance runners and bikers. These glasses can track how fast you're going, how many calories you've burned, and provide more helpful stats. These glasses have a tiny computer inside them that displays all your performance stats on a screen below your right eye. It's like having a game console in your shades. They can be bought for $500, which is obviously not cheap, but nowadays you can find it at lower prices, so that's a plus. Using these things can be a bit of a challenge at first, but after spending some time with it, we got used to it. So, in order to use them, you'll need to link them to a unique app on your smartphone or computer. However, the app can be a bit difficult to use sometimes, so that's something you'll also need to consider. Number 5. Invisible fire-resistant wood coating. For centuries, wood has been a popular building material, but also a big problem since it's easily flammable. Today, we have stronger materials like steel and concrete, but they're expensive and not so eco-friendly. Now, scientists from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore have created something that's totally amazing. They've made wood fireproof using an invisible coating, which is a pretty big deal if you ask me. This thing expands when it's exposed to heat, creating a layer that stops the wood underneath from burning. How cool is that? And you can also see the wood's natural grain and texture. Thanks to these NTU scientists, we can now use wood as a building material without worrying about fire. Number 6. Velox Amphibious Robot. Pliant Energy Systems has created an amazing robot called Velox that can move through the water and over lands, like sand, snow, ice, and other solid ground. It uses soft fins that move like a stingray or millipede to swim and crawl. These fins were originally created to generate electricity from rivers, but were later used to propel the robot. Velox is super cool and can do things that normal land or sea robots cannot. It can turn quickly and move in any direction, making it really maneuverable. The coolest thing about Velox is that it can explore places that are usually off-limits for robots, like the surf zone where waves meet the shore. Other swimming robots are designed for deep water, but this thing can study and map areas like lakes, rivers, marshes, swamps, and even mudflats. Number 7. Mars Green. And guess what? Scientists have stumbled upon something incredible on Mars. Using a satellite called the Trace Gas Orbiter, they detected a green glow in the planet's atmosphere that comes from the oxygen atoms. And unlike the colorful sunrises we see on Earth, this Martian glow is special and unique, thanks to the Nomad spectrometer package that's on board. Scientists now can even figure out the thickness of the Martian atmosphere and guide us for future missions. How amazing is that? It's fascinating to think about what other surprises and wonders Mars hold for us. The possibilities are endless. Number 8. ATS Aircraft Towing System. Have you ever been to an airport and seen those huge planes being moved around by those boring old tugs? Well, get ready to be blown away because ATS Worldwide has just invented a super cool and high-tech way to move planes called the Automatic Aircrafting Towing System. This system uses electric-powered dollies to pull the planes from the runway to the gate, and the pilot doesn't even need to keep the engine running. Moreover, it's not just incredibly safe, but it can also save us a massive amount of fuel. Number 9. Ottobock Shoulder. Now, if you've ever had to work with your arms raised, you know how tiring it can be. But with something like the exoskeleton suit, you can reduce the strain on your muscles and joints by up to 40%. That's a huge difference. These things are especially useful in the medical field, but they're becoming more and more popular in other industries too. There's one type of exoskeleton that's developed in Germany that doesn't need any electricity to work. It uses springs and cables instead, which makes it lightweight and super easy to use. You can put it on in just 20 seconds, and it feels like you're wearing a backpack. Imagine how much easier it would be to work if you had something like this. Not only could you do more tasks, but you wouldn't feel as tired at the end of the day. Number 10. Kenvo Hydraulic Dock Leveler. Now, have you ever wondered how things get from a factory all the way to a store? Well, in China, it's super important to have a proper logistics system because they have crazy high retail sales. We're talking about $1.12 trillion in 2023. To make life easier for the people who work in logistics, like the loaders and warehouse employees, there's this really cool machine called a dock leveler that a local company offers. It's like a lifting platform that helps move heavy stuff around. The best part is that the manufacturer can build one that's customized just for you. You can pick the size and weight capacity that fits your needs. Using this machine is super easy too. It's hydraulic, which means it runs on pressurized fluid instead of electricity, and the engine won't overheat. Number 11. Leg Wheel Hybrid Mobile Robot. Have you ever heard about this awesome robot that some students at a university created? It's totally mind-blowing. This bot is a total chameleon. It can change its wheels into legs so it can walk up the stairs and conquer tricky terrain. Its brain is so smart that it can do things like pinpoint its location with GPS and use infrared sensors to detect objects. Plus, it can even send and receive messages wirelessly. And it also has 8 electric motors and special drives that let it change its height. This thing is like something out of a sci-fi movie, and it has the potential to make all of our tasks cooler.